Okay, we can start. So today is day 3 of our full stack .NET course, and today is our third class. Firstly, we will discuss like in the last class that where we can't follow any dependency injection. These we can follow. Simply install these three packages. After that, we can add the connection string in app setting.json file, and then we can make a application db context file, and after that we can gesture this in a program.cs file, and after that we can add the migration, and then we can make the controller. But for now, we are implementing in our project dependency injection and solid principle. So we can make a separate layer, different data sets layer here, rather than writing all the code directly in this controller. In the last project, we can write all the business logic directly in our controller. So we can't follow any dependency injection. So for now, how will be the flow? All things will be same. But here we can add one more step. You can say this is a sixth step. Here firstly we will make interface, and then we can make the service, and we can inject that interface in the controller rather than writing all the code business logic here. So using interface we can achieve a abstraction, we can achieve a encapsulation, and also we can achieve a dependency injection. That is a very important .NET interview question. And we can inject interface in a controller rather than writing all the business logic here. Okay, so anyone have any question, you can just message here. I will try to answer. Okay. So this step we need to follow, and already we can make a simple all the basic things we are completed, and also added here migration. Our next step is we need to make a folder, interface and services. So we can make the folder, and inside the services I will make one folder for the interface, or you can give the name iServices. And next one is here we can add the services. So our first step is we need to make the interface. So we can achieve dependency injection with the help of interface. So we need to create here interface. For example, what is our table name? Let me check. Product. So we need to make the interface for the product. I product service. So here what we can achieve dependency injection with the help of interface. We can achieve Also we can achieve the abstraction because in the controller we can inject our interface, and all the implementation we can do in our services. So we can hide the internal details and showing only the essential things. And it's also provides the loose coupling. You can easily extend our code. We can achieve the abstraction by creating interface of the service and implement the interface for the concrete method, and it will provide a loose coupling. You can easily test and maintain your code. So firstly, important question is in .NET interview, what is the interface? So I can add it here. 11. What is interface in .NET Core? So interface, we can declare only the method, but we can't give the definition of that method. So for example, if we want all the CRUD operation, we can only declare here. Its implementation, we can make a new class services where we can do the implementation, and we can just define here, and same thing like that way, and same thing we can add. We can inject this in our controller rather than writing all the code in same controller. This is called a dependency injection, and we can achieve a dependency injection with the help of interface. And it's also provide the functionality of abstraction. That is the main concept of oops. There are a four pillar of oops. So firstly I will write here what is the interface. What is the interface in C# language? So in an interface we can only declare the method. We can't write any implementation in this method. An interface, we can declare the method, but we can't provide the implementation of the method in the interface. And all the implementation we can do in the services. So with the help of this, we can hiding the internal details, like in the controller we can showing only our interface. So with the help of this we can achieve a abstraction. That is the pillar of oops. So this is also important question in .NET interview. What is abstraction? Next question is what is abstraction in session? So abstraction means with the help of interface we can, means we are hiding the implementation detail and showing only the functionality to the user. We can achieve the abstraction with the help of interface. It means we are hiding, we can hide the implementation details and showing only the functionality to the user. So for now we are added two new question. First one is what is the interface? What is the abstraction? And to implement next question is how we can implement dependency injection. So we can implement dependency injection with the help of interface and services. Next question is 13. How we can achieve implement. So next question is how we can achieve the dependency injection in C#. So we can achieve dependency using the DI with the help of interface. And then we can register this interface in the controller and hide all the implementation. So this is the most important question in .NET interface. So for now, you have also this now you have to know like definition, and you also have knowledge about the practical things, so you can easily answer in an interview. So first one, I can make a method for the get all. So we can use the IEnumerable, because here we are getting list of the products. And this is also important question, what is the difference between IEnumerable and IQueryable? So in IEnumerable we can firstly fetch all the record. For example, if we have a 100 records, firstly we can fetch that record, after that we can filter the record. But in iQueryable we can firstly fetch all, like firstly we can uh, get from the database filter data. For example, if we want to get only 10 records, so we can get filter data only 10. But that time you are using a IEnumerable. If you want only 10 but you are using a IEnumerable, so you have uh, firstly you will fetch 100 records from the database, and after that you can filter that 10 records. So IEnumerable we are only use when we want to get all the product from the database. For example, when we want to pagination searching, that time we are using iQueryable. So this is also important question I can add here. So for now, in this method, we want to fetch all the records from product. For example, if they have a 100 or a 1000 record, we want to fetch all the records. So that's why we can give the name getter. So that's why we are using here IEnumerable. We don't want any filter data. But that time we want a filter data. For example, we are want only first 10 record. That time we can use iQueryable. So I can add it here. 14 question. What is the difference between I table and I queryable? Okay, we are using interface here to implement the dependency injection. Next one is this method for the get all API. Get all the products, and you can see here we can only give the definition of the method, not a declaration. It's declaration we can do, make a different class where we can declare this method and where we can inherit this interface. And also one another question is how we can achieve a multiple inheritance. So in a C# we can achieve a multiple inheritance with the help of interface. So this is also important question, how we can achieve a multiple inheritance. How we can achieve multiple inheritance. How we can achieve the multiple tensation. So we can achieve multiple inheritance with the help of interface. Help of interface. We can't inherit the multiple classes, but we can inherit the multiple interfaces. You don't need to write like that long. You just understand how it will be work. You can read definition from the anywhere, but you have to know how we can implement these things practically. So you can easily answer in the interview if any cross question will ask. If you have a good understanding, you can easily give the answer. And next we can make get by ID. So this is the return type. When we can return get all method, we can returning this model. For now, this model have these three things: ID, name, and description. So here we also not implement DTOs that we will cover in the next class. For now, we are using a simple, and we here also we are not using a sync and await. That also we will cover in the next class. Then you have a better understanding why we use these things. So for now, we are simply implement here dependency injection, how we can implement dependency injection. So I will make it simple so anyone can easily understand. So next one is we can make a get by id, product get by id. Again here we need to return this product table. Next time we can use create a new product. So here for now we are using void, don't need to return anything. We can simply return the message the user is created successfully. So here we can pass in the Swagger UI the product details. These all the detail we can pass. ID is auto generated. We know don't need to pass ID. We can pass only name and description here. Next one is we can make method for the update. Same like that way. And next for the delete. So here you can say I can't do any implementation. I just declare the method here. And same these things we can inject in the our controller. So next we need to make here class. Okay. Okay. So we can make the interface. Now we can use the inheritance. So with the help of inheritance, we can add it here I product service, and you can see here it will give the option to implement the interface. So these all the interface that we can declare in the interface, these all the method, and here we can give the implementation. And here we can privately, here we can write all the business logic. All the business logic. Business logic, and here we can write all the code to for example, to adding a new data and all the things we are handled here, but in the controller we just call this method. So that is called a dependency injection. I can show you the last project that we can done. I think we can make this. Okay, this we can make. So today, like I will compare what is the difference between dependency injection or for now you can see here we are not making any interface. So we can directly inject our DB context and all the business logic like we are fetching to list from the database, find a new record, add a new record. All the business logic here we can write here. So this is not a part of solid principle. So next thing is what is a solid principle and why we use a solid principle. So this is also important question. What is the I can write here. What is the solid principle? So solid principle means we are writing this code like that way anyone can easily extend that code, easily test and easily maintainable, and we can simply make a clean approach. And here it will make some rules that we need to follow to implement the solid principle. That helps. Okay. Solid principle are the set of five design principles that helps drive to maintain. And with the help of with the help of solid principle, we can achieve loose coupling. Loose coupling means things are not dependent to each other. Loose coupling and easy to test and easy to maintain. With the help of this, we can easily maintain our code. Like this is some rules we need to follow. So for now, here we can write all the directly code here. Let me add here. So here we don't follow any dependency injection. We can directly inject our application DB context. So what is the disadvantage if we want to a new, so every time we need to, like this is a very complex code, not a clean architecture, not a readable. Because if we want to attend another method, so we need to add here, and it's not a readable properly. So every time we will make every class, we can try to add very less code so that anyone can easily understand. So our first step is this file I can inject directly in the DB context, in the application DB context. This I directly inject in the controller, but for now in the dependency injection we can inject here. So here we firstly we can make the constructor and we can inject our class. And second thing, firstly I can inject this private read only application DB context, and after that we can privately write here private. This is SS specifier means this only accessible only this class, not outside the class. So this is we can injected here and all the logic we will write here. Second thing is In a solid principle, we have five types. First one is single responsibility principle. So for now, we are already covered single responsibility principle. A class should have only the one reason to change means it should have only one responsibility. तो हमने ये सेम चीज कहाँ पे फॉलो की है? We are following this in the class. For example, this class have only the single responsibility and single reason to change. If we want here, we can follow the single responsibility principle. So this class only the single responsibility and single reason to change. If we want to extend anything that will be related to product table. If we are not adding the things that are related to user like for the order. So if we want to related a user or order, we can make a separate table. So here we can follow the first principle, single responsibility principle, and next one is a open close principle. Second one is a open close principle. Means a class is open for extension but closed for modification. It means a class should open for extension but closed for modification. So here we can implement our second principle. Second principle, that is a open close principle. Is for now you can see here this interface or a service interface or class, you can say this is the open for extension but closed for modification. It means if we want to a new method, for example we want a get by name, so we will write like that way, product get by name. So we can extend that method. So that is the second principle. Any class or interface open for extension but closed for modification. It means if we want for example we are wanting simple get by name, so it's also choice you can add here string dot name. But here we can't follow a single sorry, open close principle. Open close principle means in these all method you can add new one but don't change the previous method. So this is the second principle. A class should be open for extension. You can easily extend but close for modification. Why close for modification? You can see here, for example, if you can do all the declare here, also you can do the implementation and also you can make the controller. So you need to change everywhere. For example, you can see here it will give the error. So it will give the error because we already implemented this here, this get by ID, but it's giving a error to implement the new method. So you can see here it will give the error. So to improve this, we can make this principle. We need to follow this principle. Any class should be open for extension but closed for modification. So we can't change this method. If we want this product by like get by name, so we can make a separate new method. So here we can follow the second principle. So these are all the important questions. What is the solid principle? And it's this is the most important question in .NET interview. Every interview this question will be asked, like if you're a fresher or experienced, this is the most important question. So if you're a fresher, they are expecting you can simply explain the definition, but if you are a experienced, so that time they are expecting you can explain how you can implement solid principle in your project. So for now I will explain you how we can implement here our solid principle. Here we can add implement our first principle. Here we can implement our second principle, and the next one we will cover one by one. Next one is list scope substitution principle, interface segregation principle, and dependency. So today we will already cover 2.1. Next we will cover today D. D means dependency injection. That is the last principle. This scope. Okay. Next we will cover dependency injection. So firstly I will make all the things here. Firstly we will make this method get all. So get all we are fetching all the list. For example, same like row query. Select star from products. We can get all the records. Same query we can run here. And here we can get the all the list. And mainly which architecture here we can follow. Here we are following the service layer architecture or repository pattern we can follow. We can follow repository pattern or service layer. And also we are, I will explain you. Also we are here we can implement the we are implement command and query architecture. So I will also explain you how we will implement here command and query architecture or repository pattern. So this is we can make for the list. Second one is get by ID. So we can find that record with the help of ID. So we can simply write it's an option you can write like that way. These all are the provided by .NET Core. That package we can install in the first. You can also like that way, or if you want you can also like that way first or default. So that time you need to write like that way. P lambda expression P dot ID equal to ID. So same like that way it will work. If that record we can get, then return product. Next one is we can make for add context product dot add, and then we need to run add one thing save changes in. So save changes in it will track all the changes and convert this C sharp objects to a row SQL query to save in the database, because in our database only run the row SQL query. So these all things will be handled by EF core package that we can install. Next thing is we can make for a update. So here firstly we will find that record with the help of ID, and this existing record will not null. That time we can update this and save changes in same like that way. For now if we want to use find, so that time we can simply write find and remove all and ID. So these all are working product dot ID. So I think here we can do all the implementation, only one left, delete. Yeah. So same thing here we can find that record, and if that record not null, that time we can remove that record and save changes in. Find that record. Okay, so here we can do all the implementation, and here which principle we are following. Okay, so here we are using a find or first or default. It will be work like that way. Select star from product where ID is equal to 1. These all record like it's a row SQL query, same thing it will be doing. Select product and we are passing from the Swagger UI this ID. And here we can also implement encapsulation. So encapsulation means hi- writing all the code and method in a single unit. So this is also a pillar of a solid encapsulation means here we can add all the logic in a single unit. Encapsulation means writing all the code in single unit or class. So you can see here, and in the front end we can hide these all the implementation with the help of abstraction. So you can easily read definition from anywhere. Simply it means we can write all the logic here like it's a our service layer, and we can write here all our business logic like here we are, for example, we are creating a new record, creating any record, deleting, get any data. So all the logic we can follow here, and here we can achieve the encapsulation. In controller, we can achieve a abstraction with the help of interface. So for now, next step is I can make the controller. So you can see here, these all the things I can write in the product service. We can make a like one more layer. That's why it's called a service layer. For now, in the last class, we can write all the code directly. We can uh, inject our DB context directly in our controller, and all the business logic or this logic we can write here. But for now, we can make a separate interface and services, and in the service we can inject all the logic. So we can't expose directly our all the logic directly in the controller. So next thing is we can make the controller here. So in which anyone have any question related to this? Okay. So here we can achieve a dependency injection. That is the last principle of a solid. So mostly this is most important question in .NET interview. What is the dependency injection? What is the dependency injection in C Sharp? So dependency injection means rather than writing all the code in same controller, we can call from the outside. So this is the simple definition I can write here. For example, You can easily give this example in any .NET interview if you are facing any .NET interview. So if you can explain these things with the like these practical things, like we can inject dependency injection with the help of interface rather than all the uh, code here directly in the controller. So this is the best anyone can easily understand. You are really work in any project. So dependency injection means rather than writing all the code in the same controller, we can pull from the outside, or you can say or service layer. So this is the most important question. For now, we are not directly inherited like injected our DB context. Here we can inject our interface. So this is our interface. We are hiding these details in the service layer that we are writing. We just call these method. For example, these five method we can make. We just call and we can pass the parameter. For example, this method want a ID because that's why if we pass the ID, then we can fetch that record. Here we need to pass this model, and here also we need to pass this model. Here also we need to pass the ID. Here we don't need to pass anything, so here we can't pass anything. And now I can private read only. Oh, yeah. Our but is our interface name is I product. Why it's happening? I product service. Then product service. So here what we can do, we can inject it our interface. In interface, we can only give the implementation. So we can achieve the abstraction. Abstraction means hiding the internal details and showing only the essential things. तो हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया? We are hiding all the services, all the logic here, and we are showing only, we can passing only this method. So this is the abstraction. But is the so we can achieve abstraction by creating an interface for a service layer. So simply we can add the namespace here. Next thing is same thread operation we can make. For example, first one is we are get all record. So we are using this method http get when we want to get all the record, get all, and its URL will be like that way. Get like the API. This is our controller name. This is our controller name product. It will be like that way product get all. So here we can make uh, public, we can injected this, and this is the get all method that we get from this interface. This get all method we don't need to pass any parameter, so we simply declare here. So if we go in their definition, so definition will be this, and when you can implement, go to a implementation, so it's implementation here. So here we also implement one architecture, that is a command and query architecture. Command and query architecture means you are hit the command from here, and your like query will be right in the service here. So here we are getting list this query, for example select star from products, we are getting list from here in the service. So here we also we can follow command and query architecture. So this is your command, this is your command, and your query will be here. This is your query. So this is also called a command and query architecture. And here we also repository pattern and dependency injection architecture service layer we can follow here. Next one is we can make method get by ID. Get by ID, and it's also get method. Yeah, this is its URL. And next thing is we can make public IAction result, get that record with the help of ID, and if that record will null, then that time we will return not find 4044, and if that found, that time we are returning okay and 200 status code. Or if you want to give any message here, you can simply give message here not found with this status code product not found. Next one is we can make the method for the create. So you can see here we can't do a long implementation. We just call the method. But the last project, we can do all the implementation here. So it's a little bit complex to understand if we have a multiple method, if we have a like 50 methods, so it's a very difficult to understand in a same file. That's why if we, for example, we can make an interface, we can easily extend our method. If we want a new method, we can easily extend and give the implementation here, and we can easily use, like things are not dependent to either each other. Here we can achieve the loose coupling, but if we can do here all the things are we can do a for example tight coupling. So here we can implement tight coupling, and here we can implement loose coupling means things are not dependent to each other, you can easily extend. So that is the solid principle, and we can easily, if we want to make a unit test or an integration test, so we can easily we can maintain these all the things here. So this is for the create, or we can give the name here add. Here we need to add the namespace. So here firstly we will check if product, if can pass a empty model. That time we can give this error bad request. And next one is we can, for example, product service dot, this method we can use. Here we can write a create, so we can simply, and it's also give the option create, so we need to choose this create, and we can pass the product. And next thing is we can return, because it's a void return type, so you can return anything. So return okay. So here you don't need to return anything, because here we can choose the return type void. For your understanding, for now we are here returning any message. For example, product added successfully. Next thing we can make for update. Same like that way, product is equal to null or id not equal, id not equal product dot id. Okay, we don't need to add this invalid product data, otherwise update and give the message, and its a URL will be like that way, and its a URL will be like that way. So here simply we can call the method that we can define in our interface. You can see here same we can call that method. And I think only one left, delete. So for delete we are using HTTP delete, and this is the URL. Next one is we can get that record, because here this method want a id. For example, you can see here this method we can make in the service, we want a id, that's why we are passing this id. And this id we can pass to this method that we can write here, and it will find that record and delete that record. Now I added here breakpoint, then you have a better understanding how it will be work. Update gateway id. Okay, we already added. Yes, so here we are implementing the dependency injection. So our last step will be we need to add this in our program CS file. Step 5, step 8. We need to add, we need to register dependency injection services in program.cs file. Okay. So we need to go here, builder.services, before controller or anything you can add here, builder dot services dot add scope, and this is our interface we need to inject here. So there are three types of dependency injection in .NET Core. It will provide a pre-built dependency injection. So we have a three types of dependency injection. Three types of dependency injection: add scope, add transist, then add scope and add singleton. For now, we are creating a add scoped. It creates a new instance of the service per HTTP request. It create a new object per HTTP request. It will create a new instance every time when we request it, and it will create an instance or object only one time. So for now, we are using this add scope. So all the thing we can complete. Now we can run this. Firstly, we will add a new record. We already added the breakpoint. And for here, I can give, for example, product name is pencil. I already added ID is auto generator, auto increment. So we don't need to write the ID. So you can, here we can hit the breakpoint. So this product not all, we are getting this is pencil. This is the description. Now go down. Here we will go inside the controller implementation. So this is our implementation, and our record will be added in the database. Then save changes in. Then it will back return to here, and it will return this message product added successfully. So like that way we can run the command and query architecture. Here we can give the command and its implementation or query will be right in the service. Next thing is we can make for the okay, we can add another method so that we can test new thing, get all API or other API easily. So same we can use this. Okay, now our two record will be added, and one more record we can add it here. Okay, now three record is added. Now we can check get all API. So again, we can get this hit from here. This is the command, and our query will be write this. So we can get here, and we can get the list. We can get the three. You can see here. Here we can get the three record 1, 2, 3, and then it will return that products. We are getting these three products here, and we are returning this. The next one is get by ID. For example, if we want to, so we need to in the query parameter we need to pass ID. So we are getting here ID 1, and after that we are in the service, and here we can get that record with the help of ID. So this is the record, and we will return to this. It will check this product not equal to null. So there is already record. So it will return the product. So we will get this same like for delete and update. It will work. For example, if we want to delete first record, we will get this ID, and here we can find that record with the help of ID, and we can get that record. After that, this record not equal to null, then it will be removed and save changes in. So this record will be deleted in the database. This record will be deleted, and now you can check the get all. One will not showing here. So you can see here only the 2 or 3 method. Um, Okay, so this is done for today class. In the next class, we will try to implement DTOs, how we can implement DTOs and how we can use AutoMapper in .NET Core. Okay, thank you for this class. If you like this class, please like, share, and comment here. It's really motivates me to take the next class. Bye bye. Thank you.